What's up, XRP Army? Ripple is getting their bank charter. If you're catching the replay of this stream, go ahead and skip ahead to the 4-minute mark. I had to go a little bit early today with the breaking news. So we're going to give people time to get in the stream. We always wait 4 minutes for people to get in. So if you're catching the replay, skip ahead to 4 minutes. In the meantime, we're just waiting for audio to check, making sure people come to the stream, wait for it to buffer in, and get the chat going, because the chat is very important. Hopefully people see this and come in, because we had to go a little bit early with this breaking news that we just got today. Ripple is getting their bank charter. Again, if you are coming into the stream, we give it 4 minutes. So let me know you're here in the chat, but we definitely got a lot of information to cover today. XRP is going multi-chain. We're getting our Ripple's getting their bank charter. What else? Congress is reaching out to the SEC trying to get 401k money into crypto. I mean, there's a lot of news. This is really, really big. There's a lot of stuff happening, especially that bank charter, and we will cover that first. So hopefully some people get in the stream. Let me know in the chat if you are here. I appreciate every single one of you. Brad is in the house. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Ripple's getting a bank charter. Breaking news, if you didn't know. So yeah, we've been waiting for that. Again, giving it 4 minutes, letting everyone get in the stream. How's the audio sounding on that end, guys? Hopefully it sounds good for you. If it's coming through a little loud, I'm a little amped up today. This is exciting. I can barely sit still. And I know price isn't moving. Yeah. It's still at $1.99. Raul, good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Yeah, price at $1.99. News comes out 30 minutes ago. Ripple's getting a bank charter and price drops 2%. It makes no sense whatsoever to me. All right. Great news. Buying the dip for sure, Peter says. I mean, I can't tell people to buy. Nothing is ever financial advice, but damn. Excuse my language. Let's see here. Currently at 2.5 minutes, so we'll give it another 1.5 minutes for people to come into the stream. Again, we always start at the 4-minute mark. So if you're watching the replay and you don't want to stick around, you can skip ahead. But for those of you in the stream, I appreciate your patience. And for those of you popping up in the chat, again, chat is important. It is the lifeblood of the stream. And hopefully with this news, we get a really active chat today. I want to see everyone talking. I want to see everyone asking your questions, putting your opinions out. I've put a lot of good shorts. I've put a lot of good shorts out the last couple of days, talking about escrow, talking about supply, a lot of different factors around XRP that I think were very important as far as the infrastructure and the thesis that we have here for the long view of what XRP is and what it can be. So we are at the 3-minute mark. Mr. Johnny, thanks for joining. Steven, good morning. Thanks for joining. It is amazing news today. Ripple is getting their bank charter. I will cover that first and foremost once we get started before I hop into our normal routine. And again, if you're just now in the stream or you're catching the replay, I'm going to try to do this now during the 4-minute warm-up, so I'll have to throw it in there later. But if you're catching the replay of this stream and you're new to the stream, I start it the same way. At the 4-minute mark, I'll get started, and then I will hop into the price action. We'll cover the chart for context. The price is for context. We're here for the long view. We're here for what's going to happen a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And then we'll hop into the ETF inflows and all the breaking news, or in all the news. But in this case, I'm actually going to cover the breaking news first. And then on top of that, we'll hop into the chat and have a chat party. I engage with the chat every single day. I address every single person. I address every single question. And I love talking to every single one of you. So without further ado, we're past the 4-minute mark and I will get started. So good morning, XRP Army, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, kick back, relax. I'm not going to ask you to do anything, but if it's your second time, I need you to hit subscribe, smash the like button, and engage in the chat. Chat is the most important thing, is the lifeblood of the stream. It keeps us going. But breaking news, Ripple got a bank charter. Well, they haven't got it yet. They're getting it. Breaking news, they're getting a bank charter. And I'm going to bring it up for you here in just a moment if my computer will work for me. There it goes. It's starting to work. Okay, boom. Breaking, Ripple scores big national bank win. The U.S. Office of the Comptroller of Currency, OCC, has conditionally approved 5 new National Trust Bank Charter applications, and Ripple National Trust Bank is among them. These banks can move forward if they meet specific regulatory requirements. This is standard practice for new bank charters in such a way the OCC is able to ensure that they comply with all federal banking rules before starting operations. Being approved for a DE Novo, brand new National Trust Bank Charter, gives Ripple a formal presence in the U.S. federal banking system, which can facilitate broader facilitate broader services for crypto and traditional finance clients. Alongside Ripple, other digital asset related banks include First National Digital Currency Bank, BitGo Bank and Trust, Fidelity Digital Assets, and Paxos Trust Company. So, Fidelity is getting into the digital scheme. They're launching their own digital asset bank, but there are over 1,000 national banks in the U.S. They collectively control a total of 17 trillion assets and manage 85 trillion in trust assets, and Ripple is now a part of it. Guys, this is what we have been waiting for. This is what we have been waiting for years, even months for sure, since they applied for it. But Ripple is now officially in the banking system. It is happening. We'll get into more news. I got more context to tie in, but I wanted to at least get that out front. Ripple is approved for their banking charter from the OCC, Ripple National Trust Bank. Man, that has a weird sound to it, but I'll take it. So, moving on, let's get to the ETF inflows. And I see you all coming in. I appreciate you guys. Mr. Johnny, Super Fox, Stephen Hayes, D. Rannick, keep talking, guys. I appreciate all of you. Keep it going. There's a party. I'm going to read all of it. But moving forward into the ETF inflows, in the last 24 hours, we have seen 8.48 million of spot inflow and 19.73 million of leverage inflow. It says the market's closed. That's odd. There it goes. Now it says it's open. This website's acting funny, to say the truth. As you can see, everything is down because XRP is down. Important to note about the inflows and about volume and how this works. Okay, just because the ETF price is down does not mean that money is flowing out of the ETF, because the price follows XRP. This price is determined by how many XRP are held per share. So for instance, say this one, had 10 or 11 XRP per share, that's how it would get to that price. So just because the price of the ETF is going down does not mean money is coming out of the ETF. Welcome, William. I see you. So let's hop into what is actually being held in supply. And I have an important caveat. If you were here yesterday, I have an important caveat to this. Welcome, Three Brothers. Let's see here. Sorry, I had to get started a little early today for my regulars. So those of you coming in a little bit late, we had breaking news. I had to go early. Ripple is getting their bank charter, and I already announced it, but I'll come back to it here in the end. So that being said, Franklin Templeton. What is Franklin Templeton doing? They currently have... Sorry, my brain is all scatterbrained. As of yesterday, they had 78 million XRP held in trust. Let's refresh and see what they have now. And they currently now have 83 million XRP held in trust. So they gained 5 million from yesterday. So again, important distinction. Price went down. They're still adding XRP. Inflows is not determined by the price of the ETF. The inflow is determined by what's actually coming into the ETF. The price follows XRP. So let's see. Assets under management, 216 million. Here it is. So yesterday they had 106. Grayscale had 106 million, and they are currently at 106 million, no change. So yesterday we pulled up Canary Capital, and I said it went down to 168 million. But when I went back and rewatched this, I saw that it went from 169,000 to 160. So it went down 2,000 XRP, but nonetheless, it still did go out. That being said, we're currently at today now up to 170,800,000. So the 2,000 that went out, they added another roughly 2 million back in. So I think we've covered that. Rex Osprey was at 29 million, and they are currently What the heck just happened there? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what the heck just happened. Rex Osprey isn't a traditional spot ETF. This is one of those 1940s holdings, but they only have 7 million now. So they went from 30 million to 7 million. Not sure what happened with Rex Osprey. Remember, we were following this before, and they went from 30 million and got rid of all of it down to 500,000 and then added 30 million back in. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Bitwise, not Bitcoin, went from 97 million to 100 million. So they gained another 3 million. And then the big surprise yesterday was 21 shares coming in hot with 98 million. And they are currently at now, 120 million. What is 21 shares doing? So they just came in with another 20 million after their first day. They are buying fast. Oh my goodness. 21 shares is not playing around. Okay, so 21 shares just took another 20 million off the board. So news. And I'm going to get into the chat, guys. I love it. Keep it going. I'm going to address all of it. I appreciate you. So news. Let me get to my bookmarks here. Sorry, some of this stuff is just crazy to me. Congress is now has written a letter to the SEC telling them that they need to honor they need to get on what President Trump asked for as far as allowing retirements to access digital assets. So that being said, let me pull this up for you. This is a letter from Congress to the SEC telling them that they need to follow the president's order. Essentially, I did a short on this. I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically, once this gets approved, and it's going to get approved, we got Congress behind it, SEC behind it, president behind it, it's going to get approved. So this is saying that once this is approved, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in the retirements and 401ks and pension plans and all of those things will be able to access crypto. We're talking like $13 trillion minimum, 12.5 trillion. It says right there. So we're talking $12.5 trillion market. Imagine if 2% of that goes into digital assets. Okay. How much do you think is going to go in? If you had access to, digital assets in your portfolio for your 401k, what percent allocation would you put in? So again, this is just more money that's going to be coming into these ETF products because they're going to invest in traditional ETF products. They're not going to invest in spot, or they're not going to invest in, actually grabbing the asset. And XRP's ETFs are lighting some fires. 21 shares definitely bought the dip. Let's see here. David Schwartz, Chief Technological Officer of Ripple. Why is this up there? There it goes. So Ripple CTO reacts to Solana's XRP integration. So David Schwartz, Chief Technical Officer of Ripple, has reacted to Solana integrating XRP, describing this as a good thing. More XRP ecosystems is a good thing. Letting XRP operate in more environments builds utility, and the XRPL remains the anchor that makes it all work, Schwartz said in a recent social media post. For those of you who don't know what this is about, I also did a short on this morning. So Hex Trust is bringing XRP to Solana, Ethereum, and other blockchains. So Solana is going first, then Ethereum. They are going to wrap XRP into WXRP. It is completely one-to-one backed. You get to operate across major blockchains, including Ethereum and Solana, unlocking DeFi, staking. Here it goes. This initiative introduces a pathway for one of the top 5 digital assets by market size to access cross-chain DeFi applications. It extends XRP's utility beyond the XRP ledger into broader on-chain financial activity. XRP is coming to Solana, Ethereum, and more. According to the press release, WXRP will be fully backed by native XRP, held and segregated custody trust at Hex Trust. Minting redemption will be available to authorized participants in a compliant environment. XRP will launch with more than 100 million in total value locked. This will provide immediate liquidity and support stable market activity from day one. The wrapped asset uses Layer 0's omni-chain fungible token standard, enabling multi-chain participation. So XRP is going to be available for minting and use deployed on both Solana and Ethereum. And then if you missed it at the very beginning, if you came in late, here it is. I don't know why this chart keeps pulling up like this. Let's go away. I can't read. Go. Why is that there? Go away. Okay. Oh my gosh. Annoying. Why did you do that to me? Back. There it is. So I apologize. Technical difficulties. But if you came in late, Ripple. Oh my gosh. Ripple scores big national bank win. The U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, OCC, has conditionally approved 5 new National Trust Bank charter applications, and Ripple National Trust Bank is among them. These banks can move forward if they meet specific regulatory requirements. This is a standard practice for new bank charters. In such a way, the OCC is able to ensure that they comply with all federal banking rules. For those of you who care, the other ones were First National. The other banks that were approved were First National Digital Currency Bank, BitGo Bank and Trust, Fidelity Digital Assets, and Paxos Trust Company. Ripple among them. So this is what we have been waiting for. This is what we have been talking about. This is what we have been beating the desk for. This is going to plug them into the entire banking system and allow utility to unlock. We are still waiting on clarity, though. We need clarity. Clarity is key. But this is coming faster than anyone anticipated. And don't forget, we have regulation stuff happening in January. This isn't going to be the snap of a fingers, okay? This isn't the Infinity Stones, bank charter, boom, price. That's not how this works. We're here for the long haul. We're here for a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But there's not a more bullish signal than that. They got their bank charter. They're plugged into the banking system. They can start doing what they are designed to do for multiple clients. It is happening in real time. But without further ado, I know I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Let's hop into the chat, and I'm going to talk to everyone here. Brad Dixon said good morning. Raul said good morning. I appreciate you both for being here first. Let's see here. Peter said great news, buying the dip for sure. I'm right there with you, buddy. Excuse me. Mr. Johnny said, wow, amazing news. Thanks for updating us. Stephen Hayes said good morning. Mr. Johnny said maybe Jake Claver will win his bet after all. I would love for Jake Claver to win his bet, but I'm not betting on that, but I would love for it to happen. Super Fox 70 says, hi, what does conditional approval mean? It means that they're approved. They just have to be signed off that they meet all the regulations. So this is the first step in standard practice. So they should be going live here in a little bit. But they have to go through this whole phase first. That it's really here. I can reread it. It says this is standard practice for new bank charters in such a way the OCC is able to ensure that they comply with all federal banking rules before starting operations. So this is standard practice. It just means they have to jump through some hurdles before they actually go live, but they did get the approval. Gon just said, what happened? Ripple got a bank charter. That's what happened. Stephen Hayes says nothing but XRP wins to the moon. I hope you're right, Stephen. I hope we go to the moon right now, but I'll take the moon 5 years from now if I have to. Either way, things are lining up Ripple. We all wish Jake is right. That's right, Drantic. We all wish Jake is right. Alberto Garcia said, good morning. Good morning there, Alberto. Appreciate you for being here. William hopped in just a little late, but he's still here. I appreciate you. Three Brothers is in the house. Cynthia says, wow, Jake admitted his $100 or his 100 year-end projection was for the benefit of XRP holders. It was needed to get people to pay attention. Is this true? I haven't heard that, but I mean, if he's saying that, he just got rid of all his credibility. Unfortunately, that's the really unfortunate thing is you come out and start saying things are going to do this and things are going to do this and setting those kind of expectations. Eventually, someone's going to come to collect. That ticket's going to run out eventually, and you won't have any credibility after that. So, I mean, it's a good pivot. I hope that's not true. I didn't read it, but that sounds like pure sales tactics to me. No, not financial advice, and no offense to Jake Claver, but if that is true, then I don't like that. Sir Charles, I agree with your reaction. William says, wow, 21 shares buying while it's cheap. Yeah, no, 20 million in one day. Because we just saw it yesterday. It was at 98 million and went up to 120 in a day. So yeah, they're buying somewhere. William H. Bonney, 1645. Oh, I just repeated that one. When will this happen? Pure BC asked, when will this happen? It's happening. I don't know the exact timeline of how long it's going to take for them to jump the hurdles. I'll do some more research on that. I literally hopped on here as soon as I saw they got the bank charter. But I'll do some more research and I'll do a better update for you guys on what exactly the timeline is for them to go live as a bank now that they do have their approval. Let's see here. Stephen Hayes asked, do you think all we are missing now is clarity? Is there anything else we have to wait on? Well, we need clarity. And I also still want that federal master account. That's what's going to really allow them to take off on cross-border payments. But again, this is a process. It's going to take time. We're seeing it happen. They're plugging in. They have over 300 bank partnerships. They are now plugged in as a bank. As soon as the timeline unravels, we'll see exactly what it is. But they have over 300 banking partners. They're now plugged in as a bank. They got approval from the MAS. They got approval from the UK as well, I believe. I forget. Where did that one go? I had another one on up here talking about another partnership Ripple had with someone in the UK that unlocked banking in the UK. So, I can't keep track of all of it. It seems like sometimes, but it's just a matter of use case moving into it, and at the same time, ETFs draining the supply. I don't think it's going to be, a flip of a switch thing. My switch is utility turning on, and the more they use it and the more adoption we have, the higher the price is going to go. It has to. ETFs are draining the supply way too fast. So hopefully that answers your question, Stephen. Peter says, I got a 5-year plan. Better go to the moon at my age. I think 5 years we're going to get somewhere. So I'm probably the most conservative person. I'm probably the most conservative backer of XRP that I've seen on YouTube as far as being excited about the potential possibility, but not saying it's going to $1,000 and all this stuff. But I don't know what it's going to do. And I've said that a million times because it's a technology. It's not a stock. How do you value something that moves value? We don't know what it's going to do, but I know it's going to do something. And that's why I invest. So will it go to $1,000? I don't know. Will it go to $10,000? I don't know. I do know those are mathematical possibilities based on what XRP is and what it does. And it certainly looks like Ripple is behind it 100%. So that's where I'm at with it. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And again, you guys are here to take the information and come up with your own thoughts, theses, and opinions. I don't want to tell you how to think. I'm just telling you how I think. And I'm looking for like-minded individuals, don't get me wrong. But yeah. Let's see here. Edward Lee said, good morning. Good morning, Edward. Just picked up some more XRP, dollar cost averaging. That's right. Dollar cost averaging, not financial advice. Nothing is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, for entertainment and educational purposes only. But I am working on my Series 65. So one day I will be a financial advisor, but not today. Three Brothers said, great channel. There are no other channel that covers specific details on ETFs like yours. Thank you. I'm glad it has value to you, Three Brothers. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to present things in a clear way so you can make up your own damn mind. You guys don't want to be told how to think. I don't want to be told how to think. I'll give you my opinion, but that's about it. William H. Bonney said, in the future, holding XRP will become a status symbol, possibly. You're not wrong. Think about it. People got really into Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin really, really took off in probably 2015, 2017, somewhere in that ballpark is when it really, really started to take off. And it became a cult following, but the money didn't really start pumping into it until ETFs and stuff like that happened, post COVID, when we had the huge run in all the digital assets. So I think we're starting to see a new take on that, if you will. And during that time, XRP was under scrutiny from the lawsuit. Like no investors were hopping in. So during the last big boom of cryptocurrency, XRP was no one would touch with a 10-foot pole. So they kind of have, you know, a 5-year gap to make up, and it's happening. Let's see here. KL Nagacity. I feel like your channel is the only channel that tells it like it is. So tired of others clickbaiting to get views. I appreciate that. Well, if you guys want to help the channel grow and you like this type of material and you like the fact that I don't put the clickbait titles and I don't put the clickbait thumbnails and I don't sit here and sell you a bill of bad goods, if you guys like this type of information, please like, share the video, make sure you're subscribed, engage in the chat. All of these things tells YouTube that you guys think this is good content and we need to see more of it. Because I would like to see that. I would like to see, because really, truthfully, that when people are doing that, when they're hyping it up and it's the clickbait titles and all this stuff, it frustrates people. It hurts crypto. It hurts what crypto really is. It hurts the long-term investment of crypto. That's why people think we're a joke half the time. That's why 90% of people in our country have no exposure to crypto outside of Bitcoin. And only 25% of the people in our country have exposure to Bitcoin. So, and that's because we're made out to be a joke. They, you know, a bunch of hype boys. And so again, if you guys like the content, I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep watching. The longer you guys watch, the more it says this is good content and we want to watch more. Peter said he's been dumping some of my useless meme coin and adding to the XRP bag. Love your content. All right, Peter, I appreciate it. Yeah, I am now officially out of Bitcoin. I got rid of all my Bitcoin. It is now completely cycled into XRP. I still hold XRP, Chainlink, HBAR, Ondo, Avalanche, XDC, and XLM. I think is everything I'm holding, but the majority of my weight is in XRP for sure. 57 people in the stream. Thank you, three brothers. For those of you who joined late, let me recap for everyone. Since we just now got through the chat. Chat's been very active today. Appreciate all of you. Keep it going. We'll have a party as long as the chat stays active. So here comes a recap for you guys. So for those of you who joined late, price is at $1.99. Go figure. Good news comes out, price goes down. Welcome to the XRP army. That being said, Ripple did score a big national bank win. The U.S. Office of the Comptroller has conditionally approved 5 new National Trust Bank charter applications, and Ripple National Trust Bank is among them. These banks can move forward if they meet specific regulatory requirements. So the conditional approval means they have to check in with the OCC and meet those requirements. It says this is standard practice for new bank charters in such a way the OCC is able to ensure that they comply with all federal banking rules before starting operations. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background. Someone must be delivering something from Amazon. Let's see here. Being approved for de novo or brand new National Trust Bank Charter gives Ripple a formal presence in the U.S. federal banking system, which can facilitate broader services for crypto and traditional finance clients. Alongside Ripple, other digital asset related banks like First National Digital Currency Bank, BitGo Bank and Trust, Fidelity Digital Assets, and Paxos Trust Company. That Fidelity Digital Assets is actually concerning to me, because if anyone can compete with Ripple, it'd be something like that. Food for thought. Just throwing it out there, that does concern me. Anyway, back to the rest of the information. We covered ETF inflows. We'll go ahead and refresh it in the last 24 hours. We have 8.48 million, well now 11.45 million of spot volume and 21.34 million of leverage volume. Important distinction. When you're talking about ETFs, outflows do not mean price is down. Price is down because each one of these shares holds a basket of XRP. So for instance, Bitwise holds, I believe, each Bitwise share holds 11 XRP. So the price follows the XRP price. It does not mean that people are selling their shares of the ETFs. So inflows does not equal price. Inflows equals what is physically being held in trust. We've already updated this, but we had increases in every single one except Grayscale. Grayscale stayed the same. We had 83 million from Franklin Templeton. We have 106 million, almost 107 million now in Grayscale. Canary Capital back up to 170, almost 171 million. Rex Osprey unloaded. Now, again, this isn't a true spot ETF, and that's not what they're tracking, but I still keep an eye on what they're physically holding as well. And they dropped theirs down to 70,000 XRP. They did have 29 million in here. So they did remove some of it. I don't know why. But again, they're not a traditional spot ETF either, but they were holding it. That being said, Bitwise went up to 100 million XRP, and 21 shares, not playing around, bought another 22 million XRP. So they launched yesterday with 98 million, and they're already up to 120 million. 21 shares is not playing around. We covered the letter from Congress to the SEC, urging them to uphold what President Trump signed into executive order, allowing 401k and retirement funds to invest in digital assets. They're asking for regulation and things like that. So this is on the board. This, again, $13 trillion worth of money sitting in those retirement funds. If we get 1 to 2% of that flowing into digital products, this is a massive flow of money coming into ETFs. This is how supply crises happen. This is what mainstream adoption looks like. This is what real mainstream adoption looks like. ETFs coming online left and right. XRP getting bought up left and right. And everyone's like, oh no, but the price isn't going up. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. This whole switch thing that people got sold on is, I'm sorry. Ripple CTO reacts to Solana's XRP integration. So we covered this. David Schwartz, Chief Technology Officer, has reacted to Solana integration for XRP, describing it as a good thing. More XRP ecosystems is a good thing. Letting XRP operate in more environments builds utility, and XRPL remains the anchor that makes it all work, Schwartz said. So with WXRP, the wrap token will allow XRP holders to maintain the same underlying asset while gaining access to Solana's decentralized finance products. This means they can lend XRP for yield, provide liquidity for trading pairs with SOL or stablecoins, buy tokenized assets, or interact with Solana DeFi protocols. Importantly, WXRP is redeemable 1-to-1 for native XRP, so there is no risk of losing your underlying asset. WXRP will launch with more than 100 million in total value locked, according to the announcement. So it's not just Solana, though. This is also going to be going out to Ethereum. What else did it say? There was more. It was Ethereum. There was 4 other ones that it's working on right now. I can't remember what they were. Optimism, here it is. Solana, Ethereum, Optimism, and Hyper EVM are what they have announced so far as for what is going to be available to use your WXRP on if you choose to go that route. And then we covered the breaking news. So we have gone through the recap. So we've gone through all the information twice. Let me hop back into the chat. I see a lot of you guys have been hopping in here. That's amazing. If someone could let me know how many people are in the stream, we'll keep it going. Last I saw was 57. Keep the chat going. I'm going to start looking at it right now, and we are all covered up. So any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, opinions, anything you guys want to talk about, now is the time. Let's see here. Big Lou says, I'm a newbie with my XRP and Robinhood. Is it safe there, or do I need a cold wallet? Okay, so again, not financial advice. You need to do your own research, but I personally look at exchanges as public restrooms. You don't want to hang out there. Get in, do your business, get out. That is a Jake Claver phrase, by the way, and I like that one. I'll steal it. So get in, do your business, get out. If you, at very worst, you should put it on some kind of warm wallet. Or if you don't want to mess with it at all, if you don't want to have to worry about custodying at all of any of your assets, you could do an ETF, or you could do a brokerage or a broker, which I have a partnership coming up soon. I will be announcing to you guys. I have some options for you for institutional custody and for a more white glove treatment of crypto if you don't want to mess with all of it. So I have some options for you coming in the pipeline. Rarwarba says, this is amazing. An opportunity to acquire more Ripple and XRP. Great news. Usually drop price, unlike meme coin. When Telcoin got banking status, the token price increased over 60%. Well, and that's because XRP didn't get status. XRP still needs clarity. I think that's going to be the big mover. If they clarify XRP as a bridge currency, I think we'll see something major. Clarity is key. KL Nagasi says 4% are here and small amount of XLM. Fundamentals won't move the price. Once the market makers fill their bags, then and only then will the market makers stop price suppression. A lot of people have discussed price suppression. Again, my thoughts on that, the only reason to suppress the price is if it was going to make you more money later, and you would have to have some big reasons to suppress the price, because we're talking about billions, if not trillions of dollars, if that's the case. Falcon X acquired 21 shares. Jake Claver thinks they ran out of XRP in their dark pool. Falcon X bought 21 shares back in October. Just throwing that out there. That's old news. So that's not like something new happened. just so you know. Samson Grinder said price is down because Bitcoin is down. Yes, price follows Bitcoin. Still follows Bitcoin. Unfortunately, you are right, and it will stay that way until we get clarity, I believe, not financial advice. Stephen Hayes 3436 is the calm before the XRP storm. Bye. Bye. Yeah, let me date my 90s here. CMGH 1508 says, with all the good news going around and with the price still low, it's beginning to become worrisome. I want to keep buying at low price. I have liquidity to buy, but will it be worth it? That's where you need to come up with your own conviction, my friend. I'm here because I believe it's worth the risk. We know what the risk is. As XRP holders, we know what the risk is. XRP is not directly linked to Ripple, and Ripple is not directly linked to XRP. That being said, they have stated at multiple points that XRP sits at the center of what they do. Brad Garlinghouse's words exactly. XRP sits at the center of everything we do, lock in. You can take that for its face value, or you can say it's not. My belief is I'm looking at this as a regular company. I'm looking at this as an internet company. This is the best way I can explain how I view XRP and cryptocurrency as a whole. I look at these individual cryptocurrencies as internet companies. To me, this is very reminiscent of the dot-com bubble in the 90s, early 2000s, okay? There's a ton of stuff. There's only going to be like 4 or 5 winners. I believe XRP is going to be one of those winners. XRP is one of the horses I'm betting on. Think of it like being around in the early 90s, right? You got Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, like all these companies in the early 90s, right? When the internet really started coming on and computers really started coming on, how many of them are left? And what do they look like now? Right? So this is why I believe personally, it's just going to take time and we need clarity. But again, not financial advice. You need to do your own research and come up with your own thoughts there, CMGH. If you're starting to feel a little weary, just remember, we just got a bank charter. And now we're going multi-chain with Solana and Ethereum. XRP can literally do everything that any other crypto can do and then some. Again, my opinion, not financial advice. But if you want a little hopium, I'll give you that. And also, XRP has a multi-billion-dollar company behind it pushing adoption. That's another thing. So anyway, Gunpowder says DTCC patent for XRPL increases the possibility for tokenization will happen on the XRPL and XRP as a settlement token. Tokenization is going to happen on the XRPL. That's already happening on the XRPL. It was rolling out in Q1 of 2026. I'll have to go back. I did a video on it a while ago. They have a tokenization update going to where you can tokenize directly on the XRPL with the DTCC. Like that's happening. That really is happening. I have to go back and find the video, or you can search through the channel and find the video, but I have covered that before. So yeah, Gunpowder, that tokenization, no one's even, that's a good point. We haven't even started talking about tokenization yet. you know, that's going to be the major driver, even probably more so than cross-border payments over the next 5 years, truly, is tokenizing stocks and moving all of those on the XRPL. Because remember, XRP can create a liquidity pair with any tokenized asset on the XRPL. Stocks, tokenized gold, tokenized real estate, anything. So, I mean, it's so diverse. It's, believe me, it's going to make money. I mean, not financial advice, but I believe it's going to make money. Poliox says Ripple hired a Federal Reserve guy and he asked to be paid in XRP. Do the math. I mean, there you go. I haven't heard that, but that doesn't surprise me. Daniel Parker says, sorry, I missed the stream, but we're getting derivatives on the 15th, or is that clickbait? No, that is true. That is true. I saw that as well, Daniel Parker. Actually, a couple days ago, I did a short that said XRP made history. I could probably pull it up here and play it for you. As long as I do it in this right here, I think I can do it. Let's see. Let's pull up YouTube. We can watch myself because it's got the information in there, and it can, again, I have short-term memory loss issues, so it's hard for me to regurgitate stuff here off the top of my head. Bear with me. Let me find this here. My videos. Love Meet Kevin. Love Meet Kevin. You should check him out. He does great macro content. Videos. History, my videos. Let's take a look here. Look at the short. So what were we talking about? Missed the derivatives. Okay, so I said XRP made history on that one. Where's that? New ETFs. Solana. XRP made history. Here it is. Okay. This video right here tells you about the derivatives right here. So this was from, when did I launch this? I forget when I launched it. All right, let me go back. I'll find out. So this one was from... Makes history was when did I launch this one? This was December 7th. I announced this. So 5 days ago? Oh, that's not the right one. Oh my gosh, my brain is not cooperating today. There it is. It makes history just, oh, December 8th it was. I was looking at the wrong one. All right, so let's watch this video. Here you go.
XRP just made regulatory history and nobody noticed. For the first time ever, XRP is now listed on a CFTC regulated US spot exchange. This has never happened for any crypto, not Bitcoin and not Ethereum. This means XRP is now fully tradable under federal oversight across spot, futures, perps, and options, all on one platform. It's the first asset in America to pull this off. And here's the real bombshell. XRP is now approved as collateral, just like treasuries or stablecoins. Institutions can literally use XRP and RLUSD as margin. That's not speculation. That's financial market acceptance. Transparency, price discovery, and institutional access all just leveled up. As analysts are saying, XRP didn't just gain clarity, it became part of the US market infrastructure. This is the regulatory shift the market has been waiting for. The game literally has just changed, and I guarantee you all I'm going to hear is, what about the price? XRP just...
So there you go. Hopefully that cleared that up for you. So yeah, Daniel, that is real. I saw that as well. I put that out 4 days ago for you. I try to give you all the updates in the shorts and I have to keep the shorts fast and entertaining. Otherwise people don't watch them. I try to treat the shorts kind of like updates and ads for the live stream, if you will. But I think that is all the information. Unfortunately, I can't stick around and make this one last longer for you guys. It was a really good stream. The energy was great. The chat was great. Ripple's a bank, but I got to skedaddle. I got to get off to an appointment, but I'll keep you guys updated with more shorts, and I'll see you guys on the long form video tomorrow, right? Roundup video tomorrow. And other than that, you all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys live on Monday. All right, later.